Oh, hi, ChrissieCasters. It's me. I'm calling. Hi, ChrissieCasters. It's me, Chrissie Swan. Welcome to this podcast and thank you for listening to it. I'm having a coffee and probably reading a book. I mean, look. Holidays for me, unless I physically remove myself from the perimeter of the compound, they usually involve sorting buckets, and that is probably what I'm doing. But while I'm busy with that, why don't you enjoy a little selection of my favourite bits and bobs and conversations that have happened since I started the ChrissieCast about a year ago. Hailing from the very working class suburb of Logan, he has released a book very, very recently. It's called Unlovable. It is a memoir from the voice of Savage Garden. And I'm thrilled to welcome live from Los Angeles, Darren Hayes.
Thank you for having me. I don't know if folks can see, but you have a very fancy studio. I mean, I'm in my studio, but yours has graphics and all sorts of stuff, so I'm quite jealous.
Oh, well, get on it, Darren Hayes.
No, right?
Now that you're a celebrated author as well as a life-changing musician, how have you been enjoying talking over and over about some pretty hard stuff? Your book Unlovable is out at the moment. I have it in front of me. Does it make the agony and hard bits of your childhood easier to deal with the more you talk about them?
That's such a great question. I know that writing the book was definitely, this is a cliche, but it was definitely cathartic because you think if you do something like that, you get it off your chest, you'll set this heavy burden down, all of those things. You expect that it will be a load off your mind. What I didn't expect was how many people would reach out to me and tell me, oh my God, you're describing my childhood. You're describing my relationship with my parents. And so that level of kind of camaraderie has been really beautiful. And I got a lot of that in Australia just at the book signings, just people coming up to me like holding my hands, and just I drove the security mad because it took hours, to meet everyone. And I was like, blah, 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 just leave it, because I understood what people they needed to tell me, their story. And I got it, I forced them to read my story. And these, what were strangers became just for a minute, kind of like family for a minute, because it really made me feel, in the same way that music has done this for me, it made me feel less alone. I got invited to a dinner party for 15 people in London by my mutual friend, a guy called David Collins, who was a famous interior designer. And I met him just randomly at some event, didn't know who he was. And I was at a table full of posh assholes, to be completely honest. Everyone was so stuck up. I'm not going to name their names because it'll seem like I'm really, really cruel, but there were some really famous people who did not and could not give a shit about me. And I remember feeling really lonely and just really out of place. And this sweet man, David, was just so nice to me. And it turned out he was one of Madonna's best friends. So he's this interior designer who designs hotels and whatever, and just happened to be her home interior designer. And he kept in touch with me. And one day he just calls me. I'd been out with him a couple of times, been to his place and whatever when I was living in London. And he phones me and he says, Darren, would you come to a dinner party? And I hate stuff like that, Chrissie. I hate famous people, and I'm just so no or whatever. And I went, oh God, David.
Why do you hate famous people? Do you feel like
it's that thing?
You're so normal,
deserving. It's that thing of feeling like I just don't belong in that room,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, who's going? And he says, well, Gwyneth and Chris are going to be there. And I just went,
who? Oh,
right. Exactly. Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. And I just go,
what are they like? I love that they've had an amicable split and they, seem to be so grown up about it. I love that.
So sweet. They're lovely. Gwyneth Paltrow, the first time I met her, I dismissed myself. I met her and she wanted to meet me. And she was like, oh my God. Like she held my hands like this and she's like, and giving me all the compliments. And I was going, it's really nice to meet you. Bye. And a mutual friend just went, what did you just do? And I went, I just said thanks. And he's like, that looked so rude. You were so rude to go. But I just had to get out of there. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I say to David, I'm like, David, I can't. Like, you know, I'm terrible with famous people. It's like, just come. Please just come. Like, it's just going to be a small dinner party. It's going to be fun. I'm going to give you the spoiler alert. He wasn't telling me it was a birthday party for Madonna because he knew I wouldn't come.
What? Darren?
Yes. So this is back then. Do you remember Hung Up? You know, remember?
Of course. I remember everything she's ever done. I'm obsessed with her.
Hung up on you. Her disco phase, her cornrows, okay? This is Madonna.
Yeah.
6 months beforehand, she'd fallen off a freaking horse, okay, broken every bone in her body. So on her birthday, she had to postpone it. So her lovely friend David postponed this dinner party. There's like, I don't know, Chris Martin, someone who owns, I don't know, Tiffany's, I think. There's so many famous people there. I think that the lead singer of Texas, God strike me down in hell, but I don't remember her name. But just
Sharon someone.
There you go. That'll do. No one remembers my name. I'm Darren Hayes. But the point is...
Did Texas do I don't want to love her?
There you go.
I just need a
great song.
Charlene, that's it. I knew it was a little bogan name.
I think Sting might have even been there. I don't know. Like, it was just Trudy Styler was there. It was just that kind of thing, right? And I am dying. I turn up in I'm like this. Jeans, denim, whatever. They're all
good on you for going, because I would have stayed at home with a cup of tea wearing an hoodie. Absolutely.
I didn't even know. And so I turned up and I walk in the room and she's there dressed as Madonna because she's Madonna. And
there is only one Darren Hayes.
No, but she says to me, I know you. Brain explodes. And she did. She came to a show early on in the Savage Garden sort of history in New York, and she came to see us. And because I had performed Ray of Light in our show. And
what a song. But
she had remembered, and she said, tell everybody. And she was in a really cheeky mood. And she said, tell everyone the story. And so I was cheeky too, because she'd made a joke about she said, did you know you were coming to a dinner party about my outfit? And I was like, whoa. And I was like, no, I didn't. So I told the story. I said, yeah, you came to my show. You were late. And as soon as I sang your song, you got up and you left. And I never knew if you liked it. And she said, oh my God, I loved it. I thought it was great. And it was just the perfect, like, you know, you meet your idol and they're just spunky and sexy and she's amazing.
She's really the most extraordinary artist of our time, I think.
I think you interviewed her, didn't you?
Well, in a weird twist, my Madonna story is my sister worked for a concert promotion company in Tokyo, and Madonna's Blonde Ambition tour, which is around the time
greatest concert that's ever been held, and I never got to see it. But anyway, continue.
I saw it many, many times. I know. It never came to Australia. So it's around the time of Vogue. And I remember I was at Yokohama Stadium when I first heard the song Vogue, because it hadn't been released, but she ended the show with it. And I was like, what is this in my ears? What is happening?
Now, hang on. I got to ask you, was this during the rainy season, or was this when she came back and redid the shows a year later? I'm a stan. I know everything about this.
It was the first tour. It was in Tokyo.
Yeah. Was it raining the night you saw it?
No.
Okay.
No.
I have that tour jacket. I have the original tour jacket
with
that the crew
eye
wore.
on the back, the velvety one.
Yep.
I wanted that so bad. Anyway, I was like 16 or 17 at the time, and I was visiting my sister on my very first overseas trip. And because, you know, I probably, you know, should have had a babysitter, she would just take me to work with her, and work happened to be the Blonde Ambition tour. And to get to get home, I would catch the tour bus with the dancers, with Carlton and Luis and Slam and all of them.
And for those listening, we call that the splitter van. Oh, I can't believe it. You got in the splitter van. So the splitter van is called that because it splits the gig. You split, you leave. As soon as the show ends, you all get into the splitter van and you were with the most incredible dancers in the world. Go on.
The most incredible. And she would catch that bus too.
Oh.
Yeah.
In her white, I remember in a white terry toweling dressing gown.
Yeah. Can we talk for a moment about the film, Truth or Dare, and how if we could have put it in our veins, we
do
would.
Something else. Do my eyebrows. Just somebody sat some fat man in the front row who was giving me dirty looks all night. I swear to God. And Freddie, get over here because
Freddie DeMann, yes.
He was in charge of the sound of my show. Somebody give Keith a new asshole because my headset kept cutting out during Where's the Party? And don't tell me you didn't notice. And there was nothing but industry in the first 3 rows, Freddie. Everyone looked like a goddamn William Morris agent.
And what about when she goes, I hope I'm somewhere safe when it happens.
Yeah, she goes, at the end of a tour, everybody gets emotional and they get upset. But it's like, I've done this before when people die. It's like I make my peace with it so that when it happens, I don't feel anything.
Oh my God.
You don't even know. I became really close to Alec Kashishian.
Wow.
I became friends with him. He's the director of that film because I did that impersonation I was just doing for you at a party for Matt Damon.
That's a sentence I was not expecting to hear today.
And I'm standing around doing that impersonation and this person taps me on the shoulder and it's Alec. And I go, it's Alec Kashishian. And he goes, you know how to pronounce my name? And I go, of course I do. You're Alec Kashishian. And he was just obsessed that I knew all the lines from that film. And that's how we became sort of friends.
It's really hard to find. I work with a young guy, Jack, who's like 27. And sadly, Madonna has not made the leap into that kind of generation. And she needs to because she's very important. Anyway, I have prescribed to him to watch that documentary because I know that he will love it, but it's very hard to find and we're Googling it to try and find where to see it because now I need to see it again.
So great. There's this amazing scene where she goes, Warren, get over here, you pussy man. She's talking about Warren Beatty.
Yes, she's so cheeky with him.
She's eating her salad and she's going, I told Warren I wouldn't have his babies unless he becomes a vegetarian. And it's like, and he won't be on camera. And then that scene where he goes, has no one talked to you about the insanity of this? Of what? The insanity of filming all of this, all of this that you throw. This is a serious matter, yes?
And she says something like, if it's not on camera, it didn't happen. Something like that.
What is the point of filming it if it doesn't exist if it's not on camera, right?
Yeah.
She was the first reality star. It was incredible.
She was the first of everything. I mean, we could wax lyrical about Madonna, and I feel like we will eventually before the day we die. Here is an Aussie music maker with a real story for you. We first got to know Kate Dearugo in 2005 when over 2 million of us tuned in to watch her win Australian Idol. Remember when everyone watched the same television shows? I miss those days. Almost immediately, Kate began to spiral into addiction, starting with recreational cocaine use and ending with a guilty plea for drug possession, drug driving, weapons offences. But I just always liked her. And I knew that if we ever met, she would like me too. So I'm thrilled to welcome to the ChrissieCast, the straight talking and very pregnant Kate Dearugo. I am so thrilled to meet you.
I am quite pregnant, but I always knew I'd like you too. Do you know that?
Sometimes you just know.
Always had a vibe. Chrissie Swan, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to have a chat.
I'm really excited to talk about your, I hate the word journey, but if I'm going to use it about anybody, an Australian Idol contestant is...
I like to say adventure. We call it an adventure.
That's what I call it too. Sometimes that's the only thing that gets me through the day is my mantra of every day a new adventure. And you've just got to steel yourself and keep going. I want to move on to another topic.
Yeah, okay.
I've always said that you are John Farnham. You are the female John Farnham. You look like him. When you sing, your mannerisms are the same. You have that same belting voice. Am I crazy for thinking this?
This is the biggest compliment anyone has ever given me in my life.
Can you see it?
You know what, my dad would be so happy to hear you say that. He's been trying to tell me that for years. And I don't think anybody's like John Farnham, but if I could be like one person in this world, I think he is one of, if not the best male singer on this planet. And I'm honoured to even be put in the same lane as that.
But can you see it?
I don't know. I want to say maybe our mannerisms, maybe our down-to-earth Aussie, just like, you know, say it like it is attitude. Yes, I guess I can maybe see that.
What is your favourite John Farnham song?
I'm not going to lie. I had a John Farnham party on the drive here this morning.
Yes! The best kind of party.
It was a good party, and I hadn't listened for a while. I was like, yes, there's just so many bangers.
I know, one after the other.
I love them all. And look, there's the main ones, but my favourite one is probably That's Freedom. That's freedom.
There's a song of the heart, a race in the wind, a light in the dark.
That's freedom.
What a song.
Really, I played that on repeat for a couple of minutes there this morning. But I actually love a song of his called Simple Life.
Oh, I love Simple Life.
I used to sit in my not so happy sad days and just listen to that song on repeat, and you know, and I listen to it now in a different way because I found all my way back. So I used to listen to the lyrics to that song.
I'm going to write that down and add it to my playlist because that is a wonderful song and I'd forgotten it.
It's just one of his beautiful, simple songs, but the lyrics in it are stunning.
Why does everything he say, I believe?
Everything. His lyrics, yeah, he's just the most incredible human. And I was lucky enough to cross paths with Vanetta Fields. I don't know if
Of course I know Vanetta Fields.
So she's like my other mother.
Well, anybody listening, if you've ever seen John Farnham perform live in the 80s and 90s, the backup singers were Vanetta Fields and Lisa Edwards.
And Lindsay Field. And Vanetta...
I saw Lindsay last week getting a key cut at the same place I was.
He's such a gentleman.
And I was so starstruck I didn't even acknowledge him.
They're beautiful human. Bless his heart. He's still got that same bun too.
He looks like time has stood still.
Nothing has changed for him. So yeah, Vanetta was a big part of my life, and you know, she's now lives around the corner from me, and you know, I look after her and we hang out and all that kind of stuff. So
magic.
Yeah, so I just got carried away with Lindsay Field. Then I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, John is my idol as far as music, and always has been.
My favourite John Farnham song, not that you asked, but I want to share it.
I want to know.
Is One.
One is the Lord. Oh, back all the way back there.
Yes.
Okay.
Two could be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number one.
Yes.
I just love it.
Look, there's not a John Farnham song that I don't love. Even the Human Nature one, I was getting down to that this morning.
Yes, and do you remember Chain Reaction? That came out and that was a different
One
sort
link
of...
in a chain reaction. That was like his country vibe?
It was a different vibe, and I think that Dave Stewart from Eurythmics is behind that.
Do I believe that?
I think so.
Oh, Pressure... Oh, all of them. Pressure Down.
Pressure Down.
Burn.
Oh.
Lifted up by angels.
Have you met him?
No. One of the... No, and I'm really sad about that.
We need to facilitate that.
I need to meet him somewhere in my life. It's a bucket list for me.
It is. Well, meeting you was on my bucket list, and I'm so thrilled that you came and that we got to chat. And I want to say good luck for your second baby.
Oh, thank you.
It's coming any minute.
Soon.
And I want to ask you, how are you going with the pregnancy?
Well... You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's our pregnancy that I'm grateful and I'm beautiful. And look, I am. And I'm very grateful. Pregnancy both times has not been, and I know there's a lot of mamas out there that struggle with, you know, infertility and trying to get pregnant. So I don't want to take that away from anyone. Yeah. But I've struggled this time.
Have you?
I've struggled with my body. I've struggled with my mental health a little bit. And that's okay. And
the second baby is a different beast than the first one. Yeah. Because you're, and let me tell you, having three, the third is, you know, another level.
That I won't be there to find that one out.
because you're already stacked emotionally and physically with things, and to be physically out of the game is harder.
It is. It's a different kettle of fish, and I really battled with myself in the beginning because I felt this push to be like, I'm a bit of an emotional gangster. I've done all this work. I'm untouchable, and I really was like, I can't tell anyone that I'm struggling, that this is hard. And then I went, no, that's not fair, because it's actually okay to not be okay, and I think it's really normal to feel a bit defeated in the second round. So that's where I am. I've done all the steps that I've learned along the way to take care of my mental health, which I'm really grateful for that I know those things.
What's a mantra that works for you? And that's what we'll end on. We've talked about every day a new adventure. At the moment, I'm a bit just do the next best thing, the next thing. So my kind of mindset is very dynamic, and every day is different, and I go with that. What is yours? What's
the best lesson I've learned in the last 7 years of my life is that nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
Nothing. The good, the bad, all the places in between. Everything moves and shifts, and whatever I'm in right now, no matter how hard it feels, it'll move.
Yeah.
And it'll change, and the next thing will come along, and that has got me through some really tough times, and that's just how I live. I'm uncomfortable. This feelings never killed me. I thought a few would, but a feeling has never ended me, and I just know that they all move and pass, and that I will be okay at some stage.
Surrender is an important thing to learn.
And acceptance. Yeah.
Thank you, Kate Dearugo.
Oh, thank you.
You're the best. This foodie is a little different, and it's not just his porn stoush that makes him so. Zacchary Bird is a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, a junk food connoisseur, and also just happens to make all of it plant-based. The guy's a genius. I'm talking crispy bacon, fried chicken drumsticks, pain au chocolat, cannoli, oh my God, and all with the goal of perfecting every recipe known to mankind, but vegan. He's certainly set himself a challenge. Zacchary Bird, welcome to the ChrissieCast.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a big life mission, but someone has to do it,
When did you come up with this idea?
Oh, about the time I went vegan and no one had vegan cannoli for me, and I was like, far out. I've got to bloody figure out how to do these for myself.
How long have you been a vegan?
10 years. 10 years plus. So it's been a long time of seeing things I can't eat and going, well, right, well, that's my mission statement for this month.
I love this so much. When did you decide, what was going on in your life that you went, actually, I'm not eating meat anymore?
Look, I went vegetarian as a teenager, I think mainly for attention. And then as I became an adult, and I was like, how do I sort of qualify this with the rest of my my personality? I was like, I really like this community, and I really like this way of living. And I didn't really
isn't it? It feels good.
Yeah, and I didn't really have a relationship with food, so I think I like the challenge of it. Like, if I can complete this mission or this task, then I'm rewarded with perhaps the world's only vegan turducken or cannoli or what have you. And it makes me feel special.
What is in the cannoli instead of ricotta?
Well, see, you can make your own ricotta, but I feel like you're trying too hard to make something that's not going to taste like a real ricotta. So I go the other direction. You've got like custard cannoli, you've got chopped chip cannoli, you've got caramel, and I'm a very impartial to lemon and pistachio, which I would wager is the best kind of cannoli.
You're so clever. When you first went vegetarian, so I'm thinking, what are you, in your late 20s, mid-20s now?
Early 30s. Love you for that, though.
See, the vegan lifestyle.
God bless you.
Shaves decades off. So you were in your early 20s when you went vegetarian, or
vegetarian when I was like 13. I was in high school.
Right,
I was doing protest assignments where my art assignment was a piece of mince on a plate, and I'd go, well, it's meant to make you think.
I love it. It's like that banana recently.
I sort of pioneered that. I didn't want to, take away from that artist, but
get an original idea.
Me doing that 15 years ago.
Did you get sick of toast? Because I also went vegetarian, probably for attention as well, and it was just toast and toast.
See, Vegemite, on toast is still a treat for me. I think because I cook such complex things all day long, like that's actually my...
Are you allowed to have Vegemite? Isn't that a beef
I am allowed Vegemite. And, a yeast extract.
It's yeast, not beef, of course. Thinking Bonox.
B12, it's actually good. It's good for you. I'm trying to work in Vegemite everywhere I go.
How good is Vegemite?
It's an Australian icon.
What's the weirdest thing that you've ever put Vegemite in and had it work?
Well, see, this is the thing. Vegemite is one of the big secrets for vegan cooking because it's got all that umami and savoury. So if I'm making like a beef-style broth, I'm actually putting Vegemite in there. Vegemite stays strong in all my recipes. I just don't tell you about it.
I've got carried away. We haven't spun the wheel again. We're going to spin the wheel and see what comes up as what was supposed to be the first question before we let it get away from us. Oh, yes, this is the first time it's spun up on compatibility quickfire.
Hell yeah.
The first question is about chicken. If you were going to eat a chicken, would you go for the leg/thigh or would you go for the breast? This will say whether or not you and I are compatible.
Wow, I am making up an answer out at my wazoo right now. I would... the breast and
the drumstick and thigh or the breast?
Oh, I'm a drumstick man. My first viral recipe was a vegan chicken drumstick with a bone made out of cauliflower that I handcrafted like Michelangelo himself. So I'm a drumstick man through and through.
So am I.
Yeah.
I'm also a drumstick man, but that means we're incompatible because imagine... one chicken, sounds like a very sus thing. See, one chicken and two of us... And we're both going for the legs.
I've got good news for you. As the vegan butcher, I can make us a chicken that's all drumstick. It's just sort of maybe like some biblical-looking angel of just drumsticks all the way around,
Oh, my God.
And that's the wonderful thing about veganism. It's like, there's lots of assets, but my thing is we are not constrained by rules. If I want to make a chicken entirely out of drumsticks, baby, I'm making one for us.
I want to talk to you about your iced coffee bar.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about your iced coffee bar. Then we're going to do the 70s vegan brunch menu because I'm salivating.
Oh, yeah.
Whereabouts is your...
An iced coffee bar in Castledine, Brisbane.
I know Castledine.
That is, you are the first person to have acknowledged the existence of Castledine outside of
Really?
Castledine.
No, my Uncle Bob and Auntie Carmel lived in Castledine.
Oh, my God, I'll say hello.
Please do.
Well, it's in the middle of nowhere, but, when you come to Melbourne, there's so much great vegan stuff if you go to Collingwood or whatever, and I think the reason we chose the middle of nowhere is, it's important to try and diversify and take our deliciousness to people who don't have access.
I agree. Is there a great Chinese restaurant in Castledine? I feel like I've been there.
I mean, Limkey, our neighbour.
That would be...
Oh, my God.
Get out.
Stop it. If you guys are listening, shout out to Limkey and Castledine
Oh, my
Central.
God. It was so delicious. I remember it so well.
And they're sweethearts.
We're
next door now. Come on by.
Well, how do you order? Like, what's on the menu?
Oh, well, so we're doing... Oh, my God. We're about to do a Christmas bagel pop-up. So you've got honey glazed ham bagel. You've got camembert, truffle, and cranberry loaded fries. Like...
What, all vegan?
Yeah, Christmas flavours, but done as just junk food nightmares, We've got sticky date lucomades. Pavlova lucomades.
Are you a bit Greek?
Yes, very proudly so. I'm like 1/64th Greek by blood and 100% by heart.
I could tell by the way you said lucomades. And the greatest regret of my life is that I wasn't born Greek.
Oh, I would regret that too if I wasn't able to claim my small amount.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, you'll love... I've just come from Adelaide from their festival, and years ago I went to teach a Greek masterclass in Adelaide, but because I'm like third-gen Greek, my pronunciation sucks. So I did this masterclass, and I was teaching everyone how to make galaktoburiko.
Oh, my God, I love galaktoburiko. We've got a receptionist, Vicky, who makes it.
Oh, my God, we're going to have a debrief after. Get this mic on the road. But I was calling it galactic bureko. Like, as I'm teaching a masterclass, I'm like, yes, I'm part Greek. Welcome to my culture, galactic bureko.
Were there Greek people in your class?
Yeah, she came up and told me after. This little yaya was like, delicious. What is this word that you keep saying instead of galaktoburiko?
So where's your Greekness?
My great-grandmother came to this country from an island called Kefalonia.
Isn't that a cheese?
Good, I'd be the last person to be up to date on the cheese brands, but no, I don't think so.
There's a similar word that's that Greek cheese. I can't think of what it is.
I will believe you. But that's why I love Greek cooking, and I think it's other than like Vietnamese and Indonesian, I think it's one of the best cuisines.
Oh, it is magic. I think it could be my favourite.
It's just such a delightful way to eat, and I love that sort of share plate of. You never really just have one thing to eat.
No.
It's not like you're having a roast tonight and I guess there's some greens. They're like, no. You're having this with a smattering of that.
Yes.
And pull this out next to it.
That just suits me down to the ground. I've never understood those people that you go out for dinner with and they just say you go to Indian and they order the butter chicken and that is theirs.
You locked in too early.
It's like why would you do that when you could have 7?
That's why I was walking around this festival on the weekend handing out plant-based calamari and people going, you're going to finish that? I'm like, no, because you're going to come back and share whatever the hell you get with me in trade for this calamari so I don't just have calamari for lunch.
That's how it works.
Strategize, babe.
What about when you're with somebody and you're eating for the first or second time like it's new? Not dating or anything, just a new person. And the vibe shifts if they get a sniff that you're going to say, can I try that? If I get an indication that that person doesn't want to give me a little bite, then they are dead to me. I can't forgive it and I can't understand it.
See, I think your problem is you're getting into that situation. Like, as a vegan, I've never gone to a restaurant without, like, thoroughly looking at the menu. And, like, I'll do the dance for the waiter.
Yes.
But I'm like, oh, no, 3 weeks ago, I settled down on the shakshuka. Like, I'd already decided. And so, coming with that strategy means that before they make decisions, you can make it for them.
I couldn't agree more, but apparently that's very bad manners to preload on the menu.
You're like, poor little me, I've got to kind of direct this ship. I'm ordering on behalf of you because I also want to try the souvlaki.
Well, it just makes sense.
I don't manipulate
That's
others
trying
often,
2 dishes or 3 dishes instead of 1. You don't have to come back then. Do you know what I mean?
You have to come back. That's what. Whenever I look for good food, I'm like, I just want to get it done once, never do it again.
Gosh, haven't we had a lovely time? I'll see you back here next week for a few more highlights that you might not have heard.